Hi, and welcome to another If I Speak special. We got a very special guest today with us today. We got Mr. Haneef from the 532 pod. How you doing, bruv? You good?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Yourself?
Yeah, all good, all good. Just tell us about yourself then for the viewers at home and stuff then. Tell us about yourself, bro.
Yeah, I'm someone who loves football. I've been a Chelsea fan since 1996.
Yes.
I was fortunate enough to watch Gianfranco Zola, who's the one that attracted my eye to Chelsea. I'm a football referee at Grassroots, as well as I have my Instagram page 532 Pod, where I interview and talk to people about the beautiful game.
That's good. That's good to hear. Yeah, literally, we are just talking off air and stuff. I had to skim through your stuff again. Big up yourself as well for like doing your own thing as well. Seen a few of your videos, it's really good and stuff. And yeah, as we said, 532 Pod. We'll leave a link for Haneef's Instagram in the description below. And Abhinav, man, standard. I'll use your panel. How you doing, bro? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. No football, so Liverpool's not losing, so it's a
Good
win-win.
for you then, isn't it?
Yeah.
No stress.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. But as is international break, we thought we'd bring you guys some more content in a sense because let's be real, international break is just boring. I mean, for us, obviously, we got university work to do and stuff. So I guess we just do that. But for others out there, everyone's just bored sitting at home, lockdown as well. But yeah, let's just get straight into it then. So. Haneef, obviously being a Chelsea fan, what have you made of Thomas Tuchel then so far in his 15, 14 games in charge?
I'm impressed. I
Yeah,
can't. I'm impressed. I was skeptical, if I'm honest with you, of his because of his history with PSG.
yeah,
Maybe I criticized him too harshly last season, and then I didn't want Tuchel. I knew he was on the list. I wanted Rodgers or someone Premier League proven, or Allegri was my on top of my list. But
yeah.
I am impressed. He's got the German connection firing. I don't know what he said to Werner. He's doing more. I know he's not scoring enough, but he's doing more. Havertz is playing really well. Our Mount Mason is
Yeah.
extra, probably Mr. Chelsea at the moment. Ziyech is coming into form. I like the fact the way Tuchel approaches games. Every game seems to be different. There are things that he's learning as well. This is a learning curve this season, and then next season is the one that will be critical of. But he has salvaged our season. We have to say that, and we are in a very good predicament at the moment, being involved in two competitions and
Yeah.
the top four. So after Frank left us in this situation, hats off to Thomas Tuchel.
Do you think that we can do the double in a sense? Do you think we can do what we did in 2012, win the Champions League and win the FA Cup as well? But hopefully we don't finish outside the top six like we did in that season. Hopefully finish in the top four and stuff. But do you think we're capable of getting two trophies this season?
No, if
No.
I'm honest. Yeah, I'm direct. Me, no. I don't think we've got enough leaders in the team.
Yeah, I agree as
And
well. Yeah.
I look at the team and I just think we are reliant on Mason Mount to get us through games. I think defensively he sorted it. Midfield looks decent. Kovacic has become a player that I've never seen before. I never knew he could do some of those things that
Yeah.
he's doing under Tuchel. Kante is still the best CDM in the world for me, or one of the best.
Mm.
Jorginho's playing really well. I just It's just up front. We have to be honest. We let ourselves down up front, and I think we will win the FA Cup. I think we could beat City, but I don't know about the Champions League at the moment. I wanted Bayern. I just said it. Look,
Fair
let's
enough.
see how
Yeah.
good we really are. I wanted Bayern Munich. I want payback. I think we could beat them because of the way we play at the moment. But I just don't think we've got enough at the moment as a result of it's a lack of firepower. And yeah, that's where we are this season.
Do you know what? I 100% like agree with what you're saying. Like, if I was to say my piece as well, like you literally just said it for me as well. So that's good. You saved me a few words there and stuff. But yeah, I think Abhinav was saying something similar because we were obviously chatting before the Champions League draw, and he was saying, yeah, I don't mind getting buy-in and stuff, just because I think some people in that mindset of you want to beat the best in order to progress. Because let's be real, like if you're going to get small teams like Man City have in the Champions League, they're going to falter at the crucial point in a sense. So I understand what you boys mean by getting buy-in, but obviously it's great to have like a good Champions League draw just to get some of that confidence in. Yeah, and Abhinav, I know you guys haven't played in a while and stuff, and I know you've got a couple of wins under your belt now, but how are you looking ahead then to the next couple of months? So I think exactly 2 months left to the end of the season. So it's a bit awkward because you're in that position where you're a few points off top four, but then you're closer to Tottenham in a sense. You're like in that middle.
Yeah.
So do you think Liverpool can finish in the top four then?
I think it's a big ask, just considering how we've been going in the past few games. Like, if you look to our competition, it's Chelsea, West Ham, them lot. They don't seem like they're dropping off at any point. They may pick up a few draws, but even then, we're losing just as many points. I think the international break, I said earlier before in a different video, the international break came at the wrong time. I think we finally picked up some points, and I thought maybe that was a time to build momentum, because I think teams benefit from having games every 2-3 games and then building momentum and going from there. I think I looked at the fixtures just because of FPL, because I do like FPL, and I was looking at the next basically the run in after Arsenal, and there's some really good fixtures actually. We have probably most favourable fixtures besides Leicester maybe. Leicester have some good fixtures as well. And I thought it's a really good run on paper, but like that doesn't mean anything this season. It's so unpredictable, so we can't really tell like how we'll fare. I think if we settle with two centre backs, stop playing with like makeshift centre backs like Fabinho and Henderson, and putting them back and compromising on midfield, we should be good. But that depends on Klopp and what he prefers. I think he knows Fabinho is too good to be in defence, and as soon as we put him in midfield, it changed a lot of things. Even Nat Phillips was saying it made his life so much easier. So I think hopefully, barring no injuries, we can get a good run in, but I think it's a bit too much to ask. And I think the Premier League, like, it just feels like every game we play, something's always going wrong, and that kind of goes away a bit in a sense in the Champions League. Like the history that Liverpool has in the Champions League, I think it just adds a little bit of thing, right? It's a one. You can have 2 one-off games, and then we can progress. We can take on anyone. I wouldn't say anyone, because there are some big competitors. But if you think about it, if we drew City, for example, in the Prem, they'd finish us off. But in the Champions League, you never know. Like the Liverpool comes with attack, and that makes us dangerous as well in those nights. So to answer your question, do you think we could make top 4? I'm not too optimistic, to be honest, but I think we could do well in Champions League, I think.
Yeah, I think for us as well, then for Chelsea, in the sense, I think Haneef will clarify this as well. Like we've got a good run of fixtures as well. I'm just having a look, like just to double check and stuff. We've got so we got West Brom at home, we got Crystal Palace away, then we play West Ham away, which is tough, and then we've got Fulham at home. That's our sort of like April after the international break. So like you said as well, I mean, that on paper, very good fixtures for us, but let's be real, like I'm sure Haneef will agree with me and stuff, but West Brom fighting for their lives, you never know what's going to happen. Going to Selhurst Park is difficult anyway. Even though there's no fans, it's still a difficult place. They've got players like Zaha, Eze, that can hurt us as well. West Ham's obviously a tough game for the season that they're having as well. And even Fulham aren't, in my opinion, aren't a relegation team at the moment, just because of how well they're playing. So we can't take these games lightly as well, in a sense. And yeah, it's just a bit of a weird one. I'm sure Haneef will probably think the same as well. But Haneef, I just wanted to get your thoughts on Liverpool then this season generally as well. Just want to get your thoughts on what you think.
Feel for him, kind of. Even though
kind of. I'm literally the same. I literally feel the same. Yeah.
Kind of. I like Klopp. I'm a big fan of Klopp. I've always rated Klopp.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way. Liverpool might be in another situation that they found themselves early this season. They've got 5 games up and coming. Every 3 to 4 days they're playing. Liverpool don't have what Chelsea and City have, and that is squad depth.
Squad depth, yeah.
And I don't know if you guys noticed, after every international break, the Premier League games, the first Premier League game after the international break are awful. The players are off.
That's
There's
so true.
injuries,
Yeah.
and if Liverpool lose Salah, they're in trouble. They're really in trouble because he's the only one from the front three that's firing. He's top goal scorer at the moment, I believe. Mane's off, Firmino's off, Jota's just coming back. Yeah. They need to make sure that Fabinho, for me, Fabinho is the most important, because when you play him in that middle, he's
a different team, aren't they?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, he's an animal. He's an absolute animal. Thiago, for me, I think, has been extremely disappointing. He's not the player I thought he would be. There were games where I just thought, what are you doing? You're not the guy who I thought you were. And it's not his fault. The system, Klopp's bought a world-class player who can't play his system.
Yeah.
For me,
I
that
agree.
kid Jones is absolutely amazing. He starts in front of Thiago. I don't even think Thiago makes Liverpool's first 11 if they're all fit. Then you've got the media doing their nonsense of unsettling players. First it was Salah, then Mane, then Firmino. So Liverpool have had to deal with a lot of issues off the field of play as well as on the field of play, losing your captain. But Liverpool are so fragile because they lost Van Dijk and they lost Henderson, and it all went to pot. There's not enough leaders in that team. And when Klopp looked at his board for some support after Van Dijk was injured, instead of giving him the support, they waited until the last game of the season to give him a couple of £1 million for 2 players, which I was absolutely flabbergasted with. I just don't think it's acceptable to not allow Klopp the money to go and get a good centre back, or to get Issa Diop was available, Socrates was available. If worst case scenario, Mustafi was available.
I think Rudiger was available as well, wasn't he, at the time when he was?
Possibly. And so that is the board's fault. But when I look at Klopp, I do blame Klopp because he didn't change the formation. That is Klopp's fault. He could have gone to 4-2-3-1. He could have made it easier for himself, but I understand why Klopp didn't do that, because he wants to play football where he's still creating. So Liverpool have had so many issues, so many problems, that when they do look to come back next season, it's going to be a very interesting summer for them. First, who will they attract? Because Wijnaldum is going, it seems, if you go by a media speculation, he seems to be going, which is worrying, because just pay him the money. He's won you the Premier League title. He's also provided you with the Champions League trophy. Just pay him the bloody money. He's still world class in that system, but they're gonna do the cheap and cheerful thing. And I think Liverpool next season will come back, but I don't know whether they'll be the same beast, because we don't even know what's gonna happen with Salah and Mane. I think for Liverpool to move forward, they're gonna have to sell one of their stars, like they did with Coutinho. Sell one big, bring in 2 quality players, and that's how I see Liverpool. I do feel for them, because this season has gone wrong, and I thought, let's wait till January and let's see what Klopp does. And Klopp was, the stories were coming out. Klopp was talking to the board every single day, and let's be honest, if any Liverpool fan says to me, the board are doing the best they can, they really don't have a clue. But apart from that, you know what? They're still in the top 4 fight. I just think injuries might harm them again.
Yeah, what do you think about all that then, Abhinav? What Haneef said about Thiago, then the board as well.
So I think before the season started, we were going to switch to a 4-2-3-1. We tested it towards the end of last season, and I think that's why we bought Thiago. We were going to play 4-2-3-1 with maybe Thiago and Henderson, and maybe bring back Firmino. And the thing is, we only saw him against City, the combination. Is my connection going? Oh.
No, sorry, you're fine.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Yeah, but basically, I think for us to switch to a 4-2-3-1, we would have to play our front 3 plus Jota, And to do that, we're basically compromising any rotation. And I think that is largely down to the board as well, because 2 years back when we won the Champions League, that was a perfect opportunity to, strengthen your team from a position of strength. So build from your foundations and go from there and push. And then we bought Adrian and Sepp Vandenberg. So it was really underwhelming summer. And I think a lot of Liverpool fans, they're like back the owners, back this, back that. But this all came back to bite us now. So the lack of spending the summer before and the lack of spending this summer, like if you remember, we were going after Werner. We couldn't go for Werner because apparently there was a cash flow issue. So we ended up getting Jota. Obviously, we're happy with Jota now, but it just goes to show that the Liverpool owners, the board, they only do what they need to when pressured. If you leave the board to do whatever they want, they will do the absolute bare minimum. And it's only when you apply pressure do they really start doing anything in the market. And you saw that in January with the 2 signings. We should have brought them in on 1st January. We should have had players lined up because we knew the situation we're in. It wasn't so much Van Dijk and Henderson. It was Van Dijk, Joe Gomez, and Matip all out, and they're all aware of that. And now it's Henderson. So to have all 3 set out, you're compromising your midfield because they have to go back and support the defense. You're compromising the attack as well. So we should have got we bought a centre back from a relegation team in the Bundesliga, and we bought Ben Davies, who doesn't even look like he's ever going to play a game this season. He looks like just a panic buy basically, and worst case scenario we play him. So it doesn't look like he's going to play now, and we're putting so much pressure on Nat Phillips and Kabak to basically fill in the gap that Van Dijk and Gomez and Matip were supposed to do, and it's just not possible. And I wouldn't say it's just the board, like Haneef said. Klopp asked to take some. There was ample time to make an adjustment, make a formation change. But I think Klopp thought maybe just stick to principles and things will go back to normal. But this season they haven't, and I think losing 2 games at home at Anfield should have sent alarm bells ringing, but it took 6 games and there still isn't much change. I think the only difference now is Jota's back, and he's probably the most hungry out of all of our attackers. Like if you look at it, our front 3 are Salah, Mane, Firmino. They've won the Champions League, they won the Premier League. What have they got to prove now? I don't feel like they have the motivation that Jota does. Jota wants to push into the first team, play ahead of Firmino. So that's why he's the only one I feel who's pulling his weight, besides Salah, of course. But I think Salah's different to them. Salah is relentless. So even if there's a dip in form, he's a goal machine.
Yeah.
You'll always find the net. Even if he has droughts, he'll come back and he'll still finish top goal scorer somewhere around there. So I think it's just everything that could go wrong has gone wrong, and there were so many times this could have been prevented, and it's all just come back. It all has compounded this season, I feel.
Yeah, that's interesting because I'm in terms of situation and stuff then, because I know for a fact like Chelsea, Liverpool, like at the moment are sort of in that stage of wanting to get top 4, so either 2nd, 3rd, or 4th. But in the sense of injuries as well, because I think we've had a few injuries as well. Like obviously Liverpool have had worse and more concerning injuries, like more long-term injuries. But I think for Chelsea, for us as well, I think we've had a bad injury season as well. The fact that we've never been able to play all of our attacking players at once as well, the ones that we signed. So there was times where I think Havertz had COVID-19. I think Hakim Ziyech had his Hakim Ziyech had his hamstring issues. I think who else was it? I think Mason Mount got injured at some point as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, Haneef, but I think he was injured at some point as well. And then Timo Werner as well. So and Pulisic has been the problem this season as well in terms of injuries. So in that sense, like we haven't really had that flow in a while, and there's always someone injured. Like even at the moment, we've got Tammy Abraham injured, and we've got Thiago Silva still out. So in that sense, I see Liverpool and Chelsea kind of progressing in the same direction in terms of next season as well. Obviously, Liverpool would have to spend more. Whether they'd actually do it is another question. But with us as well, I think Haneef probably agrees with me that we'll probably need like a striker like Erling Haaland to make us go from there to there, basically. What do you think about that, Haneef?
I'm not bothered which striker we get. I think there are better. I think there are alternatives to even Haaland. I think the lad
Which
that Real
options do you
Madrid,
think? Yeah.
the lad that Real Madrid let go to Frankfurt, I'm a fan.
What was his name
Is it
again?
Jovic? Luka
Jovic,
What's his name?
Jovic?
That's it. Yeah,
Something
yeah,
like that. Yeah, I think he could do a job for Man United, Chelsea, or Liverpool.
Do you think so? Wow. Yeah.
I do. I think he's very. The problem is when you're when you're a young striker and Real Madrid or Chelsea or Liverpool come calling, you go for the money, don't you? The position is, you're not going to get first team football unless you're exceptional. And I think Chelsea had an edge when they bought Werner, because I think we guaranteed him first team football, because we didn't have the forward line that Liverpool had. If we had the forward line that Liverpool had, we'd say, listen, you're fighting for your place, and we'll pay you 200 grand a week or whatever he's on.
Yeah.
So I think we were lucky in that predicament. I don't really like our board. I think they are stupid sometimes, because we could have got we could have got other talented players, but when you've got an inexperienced manager, it doesn't bode well. But there's a lot of good strikers out there. Jovic is just one of them. Liverpool are linked with Suarez. Chelsea could have got Suarez if they wanted, even though I hate the guy. I have to admit, he's still top class. He's still top class.
He is. Yeah.
Suarez went for 5 million or whatever it was. So the sporting director or the board, they're not exactly doing a great job in terms of recruitment. Coutinho's available. He's linked heavily with Liverpool because he was a former Liverpool player. We could have got him. I'm not saying he was the answer, but there were a lot of other players which I think we should have got rather than Havertz. I'm not being bad. Havertz, yes, he was proved he's a top talent, but the top talent means nothing in the Premier League. It really doesn't, man. These guys that come from abroad, they need 2 or 3 years. And I give Ziyech a lot of stick. I just think, for what he's been here a year. Him and Werner came in January last year, which I thought was stupid. But Ziyech for me has probably been the worst Chelsea signing. People say to me, "Oh, you need to give him a year." I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. You came for big money. You came from this amazing academy, and you're getting opportunities. And I'll be honest with you, there's some of these guys that I wouldn't even keep at Chelsea. But now he's picked up, so we'll have to wait and see. Sorry, I totally forgot what the question was.
Which striker would you want to sign? So, or other than Erling Haaland?
I don't want Haaland. I want Mbappe. I like Mbappe.
I don't think we're gonna be able to sway him to Chelsea. That's the only thing. I think.
I think we could if we had the right people in charge, but we don't have the right people in charge. I think I don't know. It depends on his relationship with Tuchel, if it was a good relationship or not. How did it end with Tuchel? Because Tuchel
was a row towards the end.
Yeah,
I remember.
Tuchel got him to the final. So let's see what they do this season with Pochettino, who finally won a trophy. So I think there are players out there that are better than not better. Sorry, that are good alternatives. But I just think that even the media don't know who they are. So you have to go and find these alternatives, because Chelsea need to replace Giroud. I personally think, and I know a lot of Chelsea fans don't like Abraham, but I'm a big fan of Tammy. I think he's only going to get better. He did well last season, and I think we should believe in our youth, products, because you know what, there's 2 or 3 of them playing at the moment, and I think Tammy is a great alternative to have. I'm a big fan of Tammy, but I don't know. I'd go get Jovic, if we can't persuade Haaland. Haaland he's top quality, but I don't think we're there in terms of providing him the opportunities. I think he is ready-made for City or Liverpool. I don't think he's ready-made for our formation. I could be wrong, but I think for City or Liverpool, he's perfect. City are the front runners for me.
What profile do you think? Like, what type of striker I'm pitching this to you guys. what profile of striker do you think Chelsea need? Like, do they need like a target man? Do they need someone who drops back, or do they need someone who's like Werner, who's playing on the edge of the line, something like that? So, what type of striker do you think you need?
I think for us Chelsea fans, or I'm not sure about if Haneef feels the same, but I've always wanted a striker that's the caliber of Didier Drogba or Diego Costa. Those are the two names that scream out to me in the sense that we must get a striker like that with that caliber, pace, power. Even Haneef said about I can't speak, Luka Jovic even. But I think one player I would take maybe is Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I think that kind of striker would suit Chelsea. I think because of the pace, the power, the aerial threat as well, which has always been the Chelsea way. If you look at how Drogba played Costa as well, they were quick, aggressive, very good in the air as well. That's just alternatives to Haaland. But yeah, I think someone, if we're looking at a player to not sort of idolize and say like Dominic Calvert-Lewin would be the guy. Obviously, we'd love Erling Haaland at Chelsea. Why not? He's generational talent in my opinion. But if there's an alternative, then yeah, Dominic Calvert-Lewin for me. That's what I think. But yeah, I don't know what you guys think. But
yeah, we need. We had a dragon in Drogba, and we had a monster in Costa, and those are the type of players that we need. I think Haaland might be the answer. He seems to have that attitude about him. I like the way he conducts himself. I like the fact that he's a bit of a dickhead on the pitch, because you know what?
It's true.
I
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
true.
I like that about him. And a lot of people, who watch football and who aren't Chelsea fans say, "Oh, Didier didn't score many goals." Go check how many finals he scored in. What did Thierry Henry do? Nothing. So at the end of the day,
all the Arsenal fans are triggered watching this now.
They can say what they want. The fact, Didier did not score. Listen, I'm not saying Didier was a better player than. No, actually, I am, but that's my bias. But
fair enough.
Didier score. We need someone who doesn't only finish. Salah does more than just finish. If you watch Liverpool, his link-up play is great. He can play on the wing. He cuts in. Yes, he annoys people, but he's a greedy striker, and a greedy striker scores you goals. His goal-scoring record backs up. With Chelsea, we need a dog. Didier Drogba could take out two centre-backs. I think he got Golden Boot maybe 1, maybe 2 seasons. But then when it came to the final, I knew, listen, my main man is there. Just get him the ball, and that's it. And that's what you need. And I think there's a lot of strikers in Europe, right, that are looking for the opportunity, but we're only considering the top ones who'll only go to PSG, City, and Real Madrid and Liverpool. All I want Mbappe and Haaland to come to the Premier League, because La Liga is dead once Messi leaves. I believe Serie A will take over. I think Italian football is on its way back. So I'm hoping we get one of them, but I would prefer Mbappe.
What about you, Abhinav? Then who would you take in that sense? Now that we're on the topic about Mbappe and Haaland, which one would you take out of them, and which alternative would you look at if you had to replace that front three?
I think we can't be greedy because of the position we're in now. But everyone wants Haaland. Whether he fits in Liverpool style of play, we don't know. But he's one of those players where if you put him in, and I feel like if you put him in any system, he'll score. Like, he's got a 44% conversion rate, and that is like 20% more than any top striker, and that's insane. So he knows how to score from any position. Haaland would be ideal, but I have to be realistic. Like, we're not in a great situation. If we were at the top of our level, then yeah, it's obtainable. But I think the profile Liverpool are looking at is someone a bit like Firmino, where like Andre Silva, or
that's a good shout.
The guy from Lille, there's a striker, I forgot his name. I think it's David. We're looking at basically. Yeah, and then there's someone from Lyon as well. But I think we need an out-and-out goal scorer now. I think it's time for us to a bit like shift our way of playing, basically. Get a target man, someone who can score goals, because I think a lot of time Firmino was great in the first 2 seasons with us, but when he doesn't score, now he's not scoring goals, and on top of that, he's not doing what he was doing before, which is like continuing his press. And when all of those attributes are not clicking, it's really difficult for all of our front three to work together. So I think maybe someone just like as quick as Mane and Salah, who will score you goals. So we were looking at Patson Daka from I think it's Salzburg. He's a good striker, but the thing is he's a bit raw, and we're not at that position where we can mold a player for 2-3 years and then get him to the top level. They have to come in and perform now, because we're towards the end of our current project, I would say. So we need someone who will go in and deliver. So maybe Haaland would be ideal, and you never know really. But I think Haaland, it just seems like City are just gonna take Haaland and then it's done, and then that's a big problem for us. Yeah.
But I think
I'll take Lukaku back. I'll take Lukaku back. I know he might not have the greatest touch or anything, but if you look at Manchester United when Lukaku was there and firing, he was phenomenal. And I would, if he's not your first or second choice, Lukaku is still an amazing striker who can score you 25 goals a season. Then obviously, I think Immobile is a bit of a gamble, but he's there. I would even put a cheeky bid in for Lewandowski, 50 million, do you want it? Because when I look at Germany, I feel that Bayern they are the monopoly. And if you look at Haaland, for me, he looks the perfect replacement for Lewandowski. So I believe they've got first dibs at Haaland, because these German clubs, I think these German clubs, they all sort each other out. They're very tight.
They help each other out.
So and they know that. They're like, listen, we'll sort you out. We'll give you a few loan players on top, and there's a lot of dealings going on that we don't see, and they're all tight with each other. But there are, as I said, there's even other guys. I would say there's a good 20-30 strikers out there in Europe that could do a job. I think unfortunately, because we're all fans of big clubs, we expect immediate results. Because if you look at Bruno's been fantastic for Manchester United, and that's what we wanted in Werner and Havertz and Ziyech. But we've not even got half of that. So there are good players out there.
Yeah,
Benzema's a shout.
Benzema as well. Yeah, Benzema's a shout. Yeah, there's just so many options out there. I think striker's the position in the pitch where you wouldn't struggle in a sense, because even like Abhinav was saying about Haaland to Man City would be over. Like, I think City want to go for Danny Ings. I was quite shocked, but when you look at it, I think he's actually a good player as well, Danny Ings.
I take Danny Ings at Chelsea.
I would as well. Yeah, I would as well, because he's a good player.
If you look at the Aguero mold, like a short, stocky, quick player.
We've been linked with Aguero as well, I think. Yeah. I think we've been linked with Aguero.
Aguero's a Liverpool fan, by the way.
Sorry? Wait, is he actually?
Aguero's a Liverpool fan. Yeah, he's actually a Liverpool fan. So
how'd you find that?
You never know. I know everyone's a Liverpool fan.
I know Carol's not. Abhinav, do you want another player that's receiving medical attention?
Oh my God, we've already got like a long list of injuries. Yeah,
you see Salah on the ladder building stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I rate him, but it's just his injury. I think he's got the same injury record as Hazard. It's crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Are we talking about Ings?
Are we talking about Ings, or are we talking about
No,
Aguero?
I'm just talking about Aguero. He's got a similar.
Aguero.
I'm comparing quality players, but in terms of Danny Ings, if you look at his scoring record, you know what?
It's very good.
He deserves a top 6 club, or in my opinion.
Only thing I'd say is though, he's on the. I think when he joined us, when Klopp first came, he picked up an ACL injury straight away. That took him out for a year, and then when he came back, he got another ACL injury, same knee. So those types of players are very risky to place your bet on, because they, if you look at Danny Ings now, he'll get you a few goals, and then he'll have a knee injury for 2 months, and he's out, and then he comes back, and it's kind of like you need a striker that will play for most of the season, I guess. And even Danny Ings, he's injury prone. There's a lot of strikers out there, but a lot of them are they always seem to get these injuries.
Yeah, it's interesting, to be fair, because as I was saying, I think the one area in the pitch where you won't sort of struggle is strikers, because it's so, like Haneef said, there's about 30-40 strikers out there that will simply just get you a goal. like even if there's creativity from the back and your fullbacks and stuff. But now that we've talked about sort of Chelsea, Liverpool, and our players and stuff, let's go into the managers then. All right, so picture this, both of you then. So next season, who's doing better, Jurgen Klopp or Thomas Tuchel? Whoever can go first. Whoever. We'll get. We'll let Abhinav go first. Go on.
Okay. I think we have to factor in their expectations for the season. So for Liverpool, we are expected to be competing for the league again, competing for the Champions League, provided we back our manager. So say if we are competing for the league, and I do think we will bounce back. I'm not sure if we'll win the league or not, but we will bounce back. Klopp will be basically doing what he's expected to do. And I think with Tuchel, right, it's very hard for a manager, especially this season, to get his style of play on the players, because every 2-3 days there's a game, so you can't properly coach your players the way you want them to. So I think once Tuchel gets a proper preseason, I think and maybe a striker, Chelsea will be competing for the league. And I do think if both teams are, say, competing for the league in my scenario, if Chelsea, I think it's more of an achievement if Chelsea do it because of the situation they're in and the fact that they're building. So I do think Tuchel would be doing better than Klopp, but Klopp would be doing what he's expected to do these days now. So that's what I think.
Yeah, same question to you, Haneef, then.
Klopp. I expect Klopp to bounce back. I think Klopp's a better manager. Klopp's achieved more. I don't believe Thomas Tuchel won the league in Bundesliga. If I'm not certain when I'm saying that.
No, he hasn't. No, he's won a cup, I think, or two.
Yeah, whereas Klopp's team was decimated and monopolized by Bayern because they just took their best players. So I expect Klopp to come back. Obviously, the injuries might come back to haunt them, because even before Van Dijk and Henderson were injured, you've got the likes of Oxlade, Chamberlain, Matip, Keita. You got three players there. That's 100 million there, right there.
I didn't realize that was.
That's hard.
I don't even play
any action.
Shaqiri as well.
Shaqiri, big shock as well. So, but I still expect Klopp to come back, all guns firing. It just depends if he's willing to mix it up tactically. With Thomas Tuchel, it's still work in progress. I'll take top 4 next season with him. Whether Chelsea's board takes top 4, that's a different question altogether, because they might spend bigger than. If Chelsea get Haaland, we got to go for the league. There's no
100%.
Romans backed us 2 years in a row, and if we're not going for the league, then that's just ridiculous. But yeah, if Chelsea don't buy anyone, and you know what, sometimes I don't even think we need to buy anyone. I think we just need more time with the squad to a certain degrui. But obviously,
get a preseason in as well.
He's gonna want his own. He's gonna want his own players. So, but I rate Klopp very highly. Klopp for me is better than Pep Guardiola for me, because he can build a club 100%. Because he's been Klopp's not been given everything. If Liverpool turned around and gave him an open checkbook, what do you think Klopp could do compared to Pep? Has the resources to change any position he wants. He changed the defense about 5 times, spent about 500 million on it. Those figures are exaggerated, by the way. And that's what I mean. Klopp is the type of manager for me that's there for the long run and can build a club and win a title. That's why everyone watches Liverpool. That's why everybody thinks, oh, I'll take him, and I'll take him. Because don't be surprised in a couple of years if Van Dijk goes to Barcelona. Don't be surprised if a couple of other of their stars move on. And that's something that Klopp can't change. I rate Klopp. For me, after Sir Alex, he's the man. There's not money. I do rate Pep. I'm not saying I think Pep's style of play is better, but Klopp wins you titles and builds clubs, and that's why I like Klopp a lot more. I would, it's a shame that we didn't just pay Liverpool 100 million for Klopp. But I do believe Klopp. I do believe Liverpool will challenge next year.
Abhinav, now that Haneef has brought up the conversation about managers, then yeah, do you agree with them? Do you think Klopp's better than Guardiola? Do you think Guardiola's better than Klopp? Is there anyone else you want to throw in there? Obviously, we're not counting Sir Alex because obviously he's retired and stuff. So
we need to see Mourinho. Not Mourinho. I think we've seen Mourinho in a bad team, but we need to see Pep build a project with limited resources and see how well he holds up. Because every project he's taken, he took Barcelona. I'm not saying they were a brilliant side before him, but they were a very, very good side and had a lot of young players coming through. And he built them up to win the Champions League. And credit to him. But since then, he hasn't won the Champions League. And he's been managing at the what would you say, the monopoly teams of each league. So Bayern from the Bundesliga, City from the Premier League, and he, like Haneef said, if you give Klopp the same sort of resources Pep does, it seems like the sky's the limit with him. He could do so much with those players, and I think that's just credit to Klopp. I'd say I think Klopp brings all of them together. So there's coaching, there's man management, relationship with the players, relationship with the board as well. He's able to maximize the absolute most from every single department, which I think Pep struggles with. Pep is a great tactician. Pep is also a great man manager, but he's been handed everything to him, and it's very hard not to make the case that it's just a lot more easier, the job Pep has to do compared to the ones Klopp's taken. Klopp took his first job as a Mainz manager, got them promoted. Although he got them relegated, he got them promoted as well. Then he went on to Dortmund. That was they were 15th, 16th, got them to a Champions League final, back-to-back Bundesliga titles, and a double as well. And I don't think if you can name any manager who could do that, take a relegation, basically a mid-table team to a Champions League winning team. I don't think there's very few managers who can do that in the modern era. I don't
think anyone's done that apart from Klopp, I think, if my memory serves me correctly. But yeah, it's interesting you guys say that, because I'm kind of the opposite in a sense. Like I'm same with what Haneef and Abhinav have said. I do rate Klopp so much. Like I wish he did come to Chelsea and sort of built this project with us as well. There's an amount of players he would turn really good for us. Like even though Mason Mount was really, really young at the time, during that time, like we'll say about the 15-16 season when Mourinho got sacked. I think that's when Klopp came in, didn't he? Around that time. So we had players like Baba Rahman, who was still in our team. We had players like Diego Costa, obviously Hazard. We had that title-winning team from the season before. And I reckon with those players, again, he would have rejuvenated them and would have built something. And maybe we would have got some of the youth players from before, say, example, Ruben Loftus-Cheek. That's a good example, because in that season, that's when he was starting to emerge. Like his name was getting thrown in quite a lot. And at the time, Mourinho was batting away the fact that, no, I can't play Loftus-Cheek. I can't do this at all. So in that sense, I would have loved to do that. But for my preference, I prefer Pep. I think just because of what he's achieved, if you look at his CV, he's won everything possible. And the fact that he plays good football as well, which is something I like as well personally. But I've always said this to everyone. I think it's just preference on who you prefer and how you kind of see football. Like I don't think anyone's saying that Klopp and Guardiola are worse than each other. I think they're both like there. But then if you to choose one would be like that, literally that like sort of distance sort of thing. But yes, it's interesting. Does Jose Mourinho get a mention in any of this in terms of success? Any of you guys?
I think Jose, back in the day, his management style was. I think nowadays his management style is out of date, in a sense that he can't keep the dressing room longer than 3 seasons before they all start turning on them, and I think that's something he has to build upon. He has the trophies to back it up, but those are back in the day. So I don't know. He's strange. It's a strange one with Mourinho, because he won in 2016. So we'll have to see what he's like in the Tottenham project. See if he can build up a team, because that Porto team was amazing. The Inter team was amazing. The Real Madrid, even at their peak, was amazing. But he's dropped off since then, and that could be down to the projects he's taken. or the boards he's had to manage with. But I think the managers like Klopp and Pep, they will maximize that, and they will at least get a quality team out and challenge for things. And I don't think Mourinho's done that in a while.
Yeah. Any thoughts, Hamid, on that?
I think Mourinho's had his time. Last 14, 15 years, he probably has been one of the best managers if you look at in terms of what he's won, where he's come from, bringing success to Chelsea, taking us into this top four game where we are one of the favourites of winning the Premier League. So in terms of our history, we do owe Mourinho a lot, but he's very shy of playing attacking football, because when he does play, he plays it really well. I remember when he came back the second time, we were playing attacking football up until Tottenham, and Tottenham beat us 5-3, I think it was. Then he stopped playing. He went back to being pragmatic. So Mourinho is capable of playing attacking football, but he just doesn't believe in it, because if you don't score, he takes it very personal. Look at Marcus Rashford, the way he treated him. And he didn't realize that was a kid that was coming through. I do put him up there, but I don't put him above Pep and Klopp. I put Klopp at top purely because Klopp can build a team, coach youngsters to come through, identify talent, whereas Pep, I think, seems to get the best players from whichever league, or top players. Because if you look at the teams as well, he bought Robertson from Hull. Maguire and Robertson played together at Hull, if you guys can recall. So someone saw, so Klopp could see that this guy's got the attributes that I need, but he needs a lot of work. And then look at Van Dijk. Everybody, even Chelsea were after Van Dijk. Conte wanted him, but that was a different matter. But you can see there's a player in Van Dijk. And when you go through that Liverpool team, I think Kite is a good player, but he's never fit. Shaqiri, I do rate Shaqiri very highly, but he's never fit. He brought Salah back, and there was a lot of issues surrounding that in terms of, is he capable of making it in the Premier League? I thought Mane was his biggest signing, because everybody could see what Mane was about. He played in the Premier League, played for Southampton. I was shocked that nobody else went for Mane. And you look across, and then with the Coutinho money, look who he bought quality. He just bought quality, and that for me speaks volumes, and that's why I rate him very highly. I don't think Pep could do what Liverpool's done. He couldn't do. If imagine giving Pep 50 to 60 million a year. I think that's what Klopp's probably had if you average it out. In terms of spent on transfer. I don't think Pep could do that. I don't think Pep's capable. We have to remember, look, I'm not saying I'm not a fan of Pep. I love the way he plays football, but he was given Messi, Xavi, and Iniesta in their prime. In their prime. And the one thing I do rate about Barcelona was he was the number 2. He was the B team's manager, and they gave him the job because he had a style of play that they liked. Look, when he took the Bayern job, would you call that success? I don't know. I know they won the league by record numbers, but before he took the job, they did the treble. Yeah. Now, if he does the treble this season, or even the quad, then I'd be like, you know what, this guy is the man. Because Man City at this moment in time, their main man is not even playing his best game, and they're just getting by. They've got very good players now, but I think they're strong in every department. Even their backup, their subs bench is absolutely phenomenal, and they're gonna win trophies. How many? Who knows? But if he does the treble, I have to put him up with that Man United '99 team. That's and that's the best team for me of all time. Even though my Liverpool friends will disagree with me. Because of what they've achieved. However, I just think Klopp's on another level, man. I really do. And this is a guy who doesn't get everything at the beginning. He's got to prove it. Klopp's not got everything. He's proven it. He finished 9th in his first season, went to the Europa League final. I think he was lost. And then
League final as well.
Yeah,
season,
and you know that kind of look, he's had failures along the way. It's just not come straight away, and that's why I think his story is better than Pep. Sorry, when has Pep failed? Like in the properly failed? When have Man City dropped tonight in the 7th or 8th or 9th? And and that's why I think Klopp's a better manager.
Yeah, that's you make some interesting points. I think with regards to that then, because obviously you mentioned about what Klopp's achieved, what he's done, and how about his budget and stuff. But for me, it's just like if you look at history and stuff, and if you look at what people have won, I think ultimately, I think that's what everyone's going to look at the end of the day is what they won. And Klopp's won more. Pep's won more than Klopp on paper. That's why I think, in the sense that he's better because he knows how to work with the best. And like, I think he's brought up players like Raheem Sterling, who I think I mentioned this on another podcast before, but he's brought up Raheem Sterling when he came from Liverpool. He was not the best at finishing. He wasn't the best in his movement, but he literally coached. Huh? Yeah, he still is. Yeah, I mean, well, missing open goals.
Yeah,
but you can tell like he's developed so much as a player, Raheem Sterling, and then you've got players like Phil Foden. He's bringing in through right now as well. Everyone's dubbing him to be the next David Silva, but
I'll be honest with you. I think Raheem Sterling's good. I don't rate him very highly. I just think he's good. I think he's got a bit better.
A good goal scorer as well, yeah.
But
in terms of playing, I don't know.
This season, I just don't rate Raheem Sterling that highly, because when I watch him for England, you know what, there are levels to this game, and he doesn't have the same levels that he has for Pep, that he has for Pep. But when he plays for Gareth Southgate, I don't see the same player.
Yeah,
maybe that's the
that
system.
Could be down
maybe
to the system
thing. Maybe that's the system thing. But I've never really rated Sterling very highly. I just don't think he's that good personally. I think any decent winger could play for Pep and look wicked.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's credit to Pep though. Like, he builds a great system.
Oh, yeah.
It's just
unless you're Nolito, then yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But I think one thing that I'll give an example. Say when City were looking for was it a right back or a goalkeeper? I'll give you the Edison example. They went in and bought Claudia Bravo, and then didn't work out. They went in and bought another goalkeeper, Edison, and then it worked out. And with Cancelo, they've had so many right backs, so many left backs, Angelino, Zinchenko, Mendy. So imagine if Klopp went and bought Fabinho and Virgil van Dijk and it didn't work out. Do you think he would be afforded that second player, third player? I don't think he would. So he has to make sure they do it on the first go every single time. Every single player he buys he maximizes them every single time. And there are obviously a few flops that don't work out. But compared to other managers, he always manages to make it work in the first time. And I think that's just a testament to him, basically.
Yeah, that's interesting. So you two are saying Klopp, I'm saying Pep. We love it. We love a good debate, don't we? But any thoughts then? Any final thoughts then on the remainder of the season then? Who finishes where? Actually, let's do it, Haneef. Let's get your top six, man. What do you think? I'll throw it straight at you, man.
Arsenal will not finish in the top six.
I
think you're looking. I'll be honest with you. I think United will fall out. It's very hard because I think United will fall out. I think United will be fourth. I don't think they'll get second. I think it all depends on what happens on this international break. What players come back, or who's fit or who's not fit. Because Chelsea might lose a couple, West Ham might lose a couple. It just depends who survives the international voodoo. But I think take out Everton, and I would put in Liverpool. Sorry, Man City, Leicester, Chelsea, United, Liverpool. Is that six?
I think that's five, wasn't it? I think that's five.
Is that five? Okay,
and
and West Ham, the
Ham,
surprise package. Yeah, the surprise package of the season. There's always one. I don't know what position they'll fit in though. That's the thing.
Yeah, fair enough,
because
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
makes it extremely tight.
What about you, Abhinav? Same question.
Oh, I need to
So
write
tough,
this down.
isn't it?
I think it's obvious City will get the top spot. The thing is, I'm not sure about Leicester at the moment. I have a feeling Chelsea will get the fourth spot. I have a feeling United will get in. It's just that last spot in the league, and it's between Leicester, West Ham, and Liverpool. I don't know if Liverpool actually.
They've got no European commitments. You got to remember that.
Yeah. And I think
Leicester and West Ham, yeah.
Yeah, so it really depends on what Klopp decides to do. So I think if Klopp focuses on the Champions League, I think we'll finish sixth or something like that. And then I would back West Ham to maybe make a
surprise.
Okay, Leicester second, West Ham fifth. I think West Ham are on a good run, and they have good fixtures actually. Yeah.
Interesting. So judging off that, so your top four is basically the same as it is right now, right? Or
I think I don't see Everton making the top six. I'd say I think Liverpool sixth, West Ham fifth, and then Chelsea four, or maybe Chelsea above United, something like that. Yeah, I maybe Leicester four. Yeah.
What about anyone think Tottenham? They're 3 points. I guess they're 3 points off. Anyone writing Tottenham off or?
Whenever they take a step forward, they take 2 steps back, and it always seems like there's a cycle of optimism. Oh, we're doing well, and then they lose the game when it matters against Arsenal, and then they'll do well again, and then they'll lose again, and they can never get that consistency. And I think with competition this year, it's so much more difficult than last year. I think because there's so many teams and there's so much inconsistency. So I don't know if Tottenham will pull through this time.
The thing is, I'm low key. I'm not worried, but I'm in the back of my mind. I'm just like, I don't know why. I can just see Tottenham like scraping fourth or something. I don't know why.
Do you think they'll collect more points on you though in the same?
No, as in like I think we'll go above fourth, but I think either Leicester or United could drop out. But if there's any team, I think it'll be Leicester maybe to drop out just because they don't have that experience in the sense of finishing in the top four. So mine would be obviously Manchester City top because they're just insane, aren't they? I'm going to say Man United second. I'll say Chelsea third, and I think Spurs will finish fourth. I think I just don't know why. I just got a feeling that Spurs will, now that they're out of the Europa League, and it's funny, like it's amazing seeing Tottenham crumble. But I think now that they've got the league to focus on and the Carabao Cup in a sense as well, I think they could be on it. But I hope I'm wrong. I hope Tottenham don't finish in the top four. I hope they finish bloody 20th, man. But but yeah. Any final thoughts, guys, before we wrap this up?
Yeah.
Abhinav, as a Liverpool fan, do you think Klopp should concentrate on the Champions League over the Premier League?
Question.
Yeah, I think I don't know if we have the squad to go for both, so I don't think we can say both. We'll have to choose one or the other. I'd say go for the Champions League and see how far we progress. Because worst case scenario is we get knocked out in the first round and then we focus on the league. But if we do progress, I think we should focus on the Champions League, just because it's a two-legged tie. With the Champions League, it's not always the best team that wins the tournament. There's a lot of luck involved. There's a lot of there's injuries, there's referee decisions in 2 games, anything can happen. And I do think that favors Liverpool a bit more than consistently going on a run of 9 games and winning them all, because I don't see us doing that, but you never know. So I think maybe Champions League, I guess, but that's a big ask. So and that's just me being optimistic because we're in Istanbul, the final, 2005. Yeah, we might get Chelsea in the semis. It's just written in the stars. Yeah.
Likewise for us, it's written in the stars of the fact that we on it for the sort of double, the FA Cup and the Champions League. We obviously sacked our manager, same age as Andrew Villas-Boas, I think was same age as Lampard at the time as well. So Frank Lampard's what, 34, 35, my guess is. I don't know how old he is actually, but he was the same age as Andrew Villas-Boas, obviously got sacked. Thomas Tuchel came in, Roberto Di Matteo came. So I guess it's interesting because it's kind of both written the stars for both of us. But
I just don't want you winning 2 Champions League. I just don't want you winning 2 Champions League. I think the Champions League is our tournament. You got to let us have that at least.
Well, could I just ask, which trophy do you guys rate higher, the Champions League or the Premier League?
I think the Champions League special. I think it just like if you look at the big games in the Premier League, like how much excitement have you got from that compared to two-leg tie in a semi-final between two big teams? But I think that's just my Liverpool bias showing because we're usually pretty good in the Champions League.
I agree with Abhinav. I think Champions League's better in the sense because you have those teams. You can actually physically say, oh, we beat Bayern Munich, we beat Real Madrid, we beat Barcelona, etc., etc. But yes, it's interesting. What about you, bro? What do you think?
Premier League every day of the week.
You think?
I think it's harder. Yeah.
It's much harder. Look. If La Liga and Serie A were strong, I don't think our teams would be able to compete. I don't think many of us would. I don't think there'd be many English teams in the competition at this moment in time, purely because our domestic competition is strong.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I think if you look at the current top 10, and you take the top 10s from La Liga, Serie A, or any league that you watch outside the Premier League, I don't think there's better games than ours. I think it's Champions League weekend for most of the time, and our top 10 play. I'm not a big fan of Champions League anymore after Chelsea win it, because I believe that if it was a one-off knockout competition like it was last season, I liked that. But if like Liverpool, the amount of times they've gotten away with, well, it's not only Liverpool, it's United and everybody, and probably Chelsea as well. They lost 3-0 in a group tie, and then they could win the last.
Does happen,
First three games you lose, and then you come back winning the last three. For me, it's a knockout competition, and I don't understand why. I do understand why. It's all money, but I just feel the magic of the Champions League isn't there at all. But when I look at the Premier League, it feels like a test match. If you're into cricket,
that's a good analogy, actually. Yeah, it is.
When you come to the end of the season, knowing you've won the league, we were the best team in the whole year. In the Champions League, it's just like, oh yeah, we won 75% of our games, we won all our knockouts, and we got through. But in the Premier League, you've worked to win that league. Your team is the best for that year, and you can say, you know what, we were amazing. You guys couldn't fucking touch us. We were that damn good. And I always ask people what they prefer and what they think. But Champions League, I'll probably be unpopular, but I think the Champions League, like the FA Cup, to me, I'll be happy with it. I'll be excited. I'll be chuffed. But the Premier League is special.
Yeah, I think if the question was which one do you prefer and which one's harder, I have two different answers for that. I think, like you said, the Premier League is so much harder to consistently win every single game, be at the top of your level, and collect as many points as you can without dipping, and the pressure behind all 19 teams that are trying to beat you. But I don't know, I just feel like the Champions League special. So if the one I enjoy watching is like Champions League, the one I think is a lot harder is the Premier League, is what I think.
I agree to some extent as well, but I just see, like, on paper, I'm just like, you can say that you've beaten like the biggest teams from other countries around the world as well, but like Abhinav said, it's two different answers in the sense that Premier League's much harder because you have to be consistently on it. It's like Man City and Liverpool in that season, was it 18-19? I want to say, when Man City got what was it like? Points. Yeah, and then Liverpool finished on 90. Something like that. And it just shows that both of them in that year realistically deserve to be champions, but I don't care about Liverpool, so piss off.
That was an insane season. The title decider for that season as well. No one was dropping points. Yeah, exactly. Last 10 games, we won every single one of them. It was just who dropped that one game and won the title. It was insane.
Yes, it's all a bit crazy. But yeah, guys, that wraps up our If I Speak special. If you're new around here, don't forget to like, subscribe to our YouTube channel and our Spotify or Instagram as well. We're quite active on those. Also, check out 532_pod. Haneef's channel's on there as well. He's got a lot of football content. You'll like his Instagram lives as well. They're so interactive and stuff. So have a look at those. And yeah, we'll see you next time.